Yeah, so Wings of Redemption, otherwise known as the angriest gamer alive, has officially entered his domestic abuse arc. You know, he's had a lot of them. The cat arc.
You know, this cat comes along. We had these 5-gallon buckets. So I took a 5-gallon bucket and I was like, bloop. And I basically, I left the bucket on top of him because the cat couldn't move the bucket. And he ended up dying.
The lying about being shot arc. The Wendy's Chili's arc, of course. But all of them pale in comparison to the new route Wings of Redemption has taken with his career. And this whole thing actually started from a minor argument between Keemstar and Wings at the lolcow live fat camp, which is an insane sentence to say actually, and it turned physical after some heated room temp IQ debate about whether Wings messed up their stream or not.
Yeah, you are.
You creating a lie sabotaging
and you're even calling it a lie. You know,
it's a fucking lie.
You're even calling it a lie.
What part of it is not a fucking
You're
lie?
calling it a fucking lie.
What part of it's not a fucking lie? Tell me which part of it.
It's not a lie.
Look right there.
It's a setup.
That's not a setup. It's a fucking lie.
And why are you getting loud in my face?
Because I fucking can.
Dude, are you fucking...
And after the fighting seemed to be over, Wings rushed back outside, and I say rushed, you know, it was very slow, rushed back outside to confront the gnome himself once again. But Wings' wife Kelly was in the way trying to stop him, which I mean, that's what you should do in the situation. Wings is like 4,000 pounds. If you actually fight somebody again, he may just keel over. But instead of politely asking his wife to move, Wings just straight up pushes his wife on a table, which is just like, why? He could have done so many things differently and just tried to cool off or something. But instead of that, he just took out his Mountain Dew gamer rage on probably the only person who's trying to help him out. And so naturally, people didn't really like this too much. And Wings tried to cover for it, saying that his wife actually tripped and it was just forward momentum that pushed her on the table. But come on, bro, it wasn't. You pushed her. And you slowly looking around like you're lost after it happens is you just mentally shitting yourself because you know that you just did that on camera, you actual psycho.
I'm just trolling you,
Yeah, whatever. I hope your family dies in an automobile wreck.
And everyone involved had about the same reaction you probably did yourself to what Wings did. I mean, even Boogie, who's like the most morally reprehensible person ever, was pretty shaken by what happened. And don't get me wrong, the guy who faked cancer doesn't really have much room to talk, but lying to a bunch of people about cancer is a far cry from physically assaulting somebody, especially when that someone is your own wife. I mean, dude, come on.
Oh my God. Holy sh! Holy sh!
Ellie, you ripped the fucking marriage license up? Ellie, you ripped the fucking marriage license up?
Thankfully, Keemstar took pretty quick action and suspended Wings of Redemption from the lolcow live podcast for like 90 days, which was probably Wings' only stable revenue source, so, you know, well deserved. And not only that, but Keem forced Wings to leave the lolcow fat camp where this actually all went down. And, you know, for once in my life, I have to give the bald bearded gnome some credit. He didn't try and dance around the problem, and didn't try to make sure to milk it as much as possible. Okay, he did, but it's Keemstar, what do you expect? At least he punished Wings pretty harshly. I mean, he hit him with a decently long suspension, which basically means no income for him, since who actually watches Wings anymore that isn't just trying to troll him?
We got a $2 donation coming through. I'm back, Fatty McFat. Well, thank you, Hitler. Thank you for coming back.
And you would think Wings fighting Keemstar and doing this to his wife would be bad enough. Oh, but I'm not done yet, don't worry. And neither was Jordy Jordan, because shortly after this fiasco, new information came out that while coming up to Fat Camp, before he even got there, Wings grabbed his wife's arm super aggressively while she was driving, to the point that the noise is actually very audible on the mic.
Stop! Stop! Yep, there you go!
Oh my God.
According to a secondary source, which was another person at the lolcow fat camp, they said Wings was worried about getting shot when they were riding around in Atlanta, and he thought that his wife honking may get them in some kind of gang shootout, which A, I'm sure someone's really looking to pop one off at you in traffic, Jordy, because you're just that dangerous, I guess. And B, why would you grab somebody's arm like that? Just use your words, man, we're all adults. If you don't want someone to honk the horn, just tell them don't honk the horn. And the only actual reasonable explanation I can come up for why Wings is like this, or would do this, that he must be trapped in some kind of mental hellscape where he's forever reliving that 1v1 with Syndicate in his head, just constantly losing it over and over and smashing his controller and yelling.
Fuck! Why the fuck you stream that shit?
So he's just in this constant state of rage and like battle. Because if it's not that, he just has to be like a total psychopath. And the second clip was obviously from somebody in the back seat of the car. And I assume once the first incident happened, they felt the need to release that video. And it's not my place to do it, nor am I super qualified to give a highly detailed position on what I think should happen to Wings. But just as my opinion, I think Kelly, his wife, should definitely make sure she keeps herself safe. And I believe that both of these actions by Wings were extremely unwarranted, to say the least.
Is there a reason why you won't take Kelly out on a vacation but you're willing to spend like $1,000 on a new Xbox?
Because the Xbox makes us money. A vacation does not. Again, I'm going to stream until I die.
Now, when this other clip got hit by the light of the internet, Keemstar couldn't just ignore it and keep Jordy suspended, so he actually fired him completely. I think that should have happened the second he got physical on stream, but better late than never, right? And just a few days ago, it seems like Wings has, for once in his life, taken responsibility for something and is now attending anger management classes. Which, whether those courses address gamer rage or not, is definitely something to look into, but I think they're a serious step in the right direction for him. Although, of course, even though he mostly took responsibility, even in the post where he says he's going to anger management classes, he actually put some of the blame on a person who, quote unquote, grabbed him from behind and pushed him forward. Yeah, okay, buddy. I guess it wouldn't be Wings if he wasn't somehow trying to dodge responsibility. Also, not to mention that if you look close at the screenshot of the anger management course, it's like a timed online thing, and he's got like some video game Fallout, no nuts, only balls challenge playthrough in the background. So I don't really know how seriously he's actually taking this. And if it's anything like the online courses I've had for my anger management, because I am a 2-time convicted felon, I usually just click through them and don't really pay attention. And I feel like a man as hulking and angry as Jordy may need to seek IRL, one-on-one therapy, like really good therapy, not just some online thing he can ignore. Maybe he needs like a Dr. Phil session or something. You know, that would probably fix everything. Just a little sit down with my boy Dr. Phil, get him right.
You are disgusting. I'm going to kill you. Give me $200.
But everything else aside, I seriously do hope this helps him and allows him to deal with his anger. Even though I'm making a lot of jokes to bring some levity to the video, like this is not okay behavior, or not something that's just run-of-the-mill internet drama, like, you know, this is bad. But I honestly believe that if Wings really tries, he can change for the better. And most likely the best thing for him to change would be to just take a serious step back from everything, maybe permanently, I'm not gonna lie, and just chill out for a while, try to get a real job or something maybe. Especially now that he's fired from the podcast, because like I said, I doubt he's really making any revenue with his streams or anything.
I did say the age of consent should be 12. You know why I said that? Because growing up in high school, I knew girls that were like 12, 13, 14 on the regular.
And lolcow Live was probably the only thing paying his bills. But we'll see how his development goes from here, and hopefully bonds can be mended and controllers can get glued back together. And I hope for the best for his wife. So yeah, the new Wings arc is pretty crazy, but once again, jokes are jokes. I don't want to make light of the situation, and I hope Wings can see what he did wrong here. He's not just saying stuff on Twitter to appease everybody. And let me know if you think Keemstar or anybody else involved should have handled it differently from how they did. I am actually interested to see how other people interpret this, as it's much more serious than most other internet drama. So see, oh yeah, also 50 likes, and I'll do whatever a random comment I like says to do for the next video. Alright, bye. I'm gonna go do some 1v1s on Modern Warfare.
What would I rate my wife? Kelly's easily a 5.
What would you rate yourself 1 to 10? You said a 3, right?
Mhm.
You think you're a 3?
Absolutely.
And they're upset that I think you're like a 5, 5.5.
Yeah, you should think I'm a 10.
Okay.